Hi friends, welcome to our channel Easy Mathematics. Before starting our session, I want to tell you something about coronavirus or COVID-19 virus. So as all we know, it is spreading throughout the world and its spread is started in India too. So we should stay at home. After examination, I hope you people are taking rest at home and be at home, stay at home and be safe due to this COVID-19 virus. So after class 12 CBSE examination, I want to tell you something about the new pattern. CBSE 2020 paper was a moderate paper according to the opinion of students. It was moderate to difficult. That is the range of this year's mathematics examination. And 1 year, 1 mark question was a little bit tricky. 4 or 5 question was a little bit tricky. And 6 mark, one unexpected question came this year. That is from tangent and normal. Usually we expect that tangent and normal as a 4 mark question, and this time they given it as a 6 mark question in a twisted way. Today I am going to discuss a very important one topic in class 12th mathematics, that is relations and functions. First chapter from the NCERT textbook. So relations and functions we are all familiar with in class 11 itself. So this year we are discussing only 3 major concepts in that chapter. So we want to list out the important topics from each chapter. First chapter, relations and functions. So 3 important points that we want to remember in this chapter is, first one is relations, second one is functions, and third one is an operation called composition. So these are the 3 important points that we want to remember in this chapter: relations, functions, and an operation called composition. So in relations, we want to discuss 4 important points, that is a reflexive relation, then symmetric relation, then transitive relation, and fourth one is equivalence relation. So in first topic, relations, we want to discuss this 4 relations. These are the different types of relations, and the first one is a reflexive relation, second one is symmetric relation, and third one is transitive relation, fourth one is an equivalence relation. So when a relation satisfies these 3 conditions, that relation is called an equivalence relation. So equivalence relation means we want to show that that relation is reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. So a relation becomes reflexive, symmetric, and transitive, that automatically becomes an equivalence relation. Then in functions, we want to discuss 3 important points, that is 1-1 function or injective function. That has a special name. So 1-1 function or injective function. Second one is onto function or surjective function. Third one is bijective function. So these are the three topics that we want to discuss under this function: one function, onto function, and bijective function. So one function, another name is injective function. Onto function, another name is surjective function. And when a function is both one and onto, such functions are called bijective functions. So same as in the case of relations, when we can say a relation is an equivalence relation, when that relation is reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. Same manner, a function becomes a bijective function if it is both one and onto. One, another name is injective function. Onto, another name is surjective function. When a function becomes injective and surjective, it becomes bijective function. So injective plus surjective is equal to bijective. So a very important formula. So injective plus surjective is equal to bijective. The last but not least, is the composition. Composition means it is an operation connecting two functions. Not only functions, the relations also we can connect with this composition operation. Major in most of the case we are connecting with this composition operation with functions. So composition we usually denote it like this. Notation is O or 0. We usually denote it like this. We read it as F0G or F composition G. And F composition G of X, we defined it as F of G of X. So these are the three important topics that we want to discuss under first chapter, relations and functions. So just go through these important points. So this is just an introduction of our first chapter. We can discuss each topic in detail in the coming videos, in upcoming videos. So don't worry about this one. So first we want to know, we should have a clear idea about the topics that we want to discuss under each section. So this is the first chapter, relations and functions. So three important points: relations, functions, composition. Then in relations we want to discuss four major points. That is reflexive relation, symmetric relation, transitive relation. Then a relation becomes equivalence if it is reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Then second topic is functions. In functions, under functions we want to discuss three important topics, that is one function, injective function, onto function or surjective function. Then when a function becomes one and onto, it becomes bijective. So we get a very important one formula, that is this one: injective plus surjective is equal to bijective. So when a function becomes one and onto, it becomes bijective function. And last one but not least is the composition operation. So composition we usually denote it using this 0 symbol, and we denote it as like this: F composition G. We call it as we read it as f composition g, and f composition g we define it as f of g of x. Same manner we can define g composition f of x also. So same as this condition, how we can define g composition f of x? That is nothing but g of f of x. So this is the topic that we want to discuss in the first chapter.